So there's been a new update. I don't know how much time I'm going to have with Catherine from HPP CARES because she's super busy. She's burning the candle at both ends trying to process all these grant applications. Oh, Catherine is now here. Let me let her in. I'm going to do my clapper. Okay, I was just recording my intro while I waited for Catherine to show up because I know our time with her is precious today. She is a busy person. We announced the change where HPP Cares can process applications and qualify individuals for the $40,000 ADU grant. It does not require a loan, and if you do have a loan, you could bring any kind of lender to
Hmm?
HPP Cares. That's very different than every other provider, and
Yep.
it's also statewide. And so
Yes.
you blew up the application process. And since we talked a few weeks ago, how many, can you talk about how many applications you've received?
We're over 900 applications at this time. Yeah. And we're probably, after this weekend and we do our audit check, we'll probably easily be about 1,200 applications at this point. So
Yeah,
super
makes
excited.
sense.
Great
Yeah, it's
time.
super
I'm doing
exciting.
what I love, hence the sign behind me.
I love it. And I mean, seriously, like in the first, like I'd say 9 months of this program, all of the institutions combined reserve something like 18 grants, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering my numbers correctly. So the fact that we're now in the several of hundreds and maybe in the thousands is really encouraging news. Having
Yeah.
said that, somebody emailed me the other day and was like, Ryan, the application portal you sent me is not working. So can you talk about that, Catherine?
Definitely. So what we did was we went ahead and do a soft pause right now. We want to have a minute to reassess some things with regards to processes at the office, how we can be a little bit more efficient, effective, getting the intake application to be a little bit more easy, palatable for folks to fill out and get to a completion. We've heard, many of the issues. And trust me, we were, building a plane, flying it, fueling it all at the same time when we first opened the gates of this. There was not an instruction manual.
Yeah.
And so I think in the course of a few weeks, we've put things together and we've moved the grant funds, which is a great thing. Now we're going to take a step back, do an assessment, make sure that we have all our checks and balances in place, and then make sure that we've taken the time to put in parties to do certain jobs, i.e., a lot of you are now getting your award certificates coming to you from our award department. Those people that are getting award certificates can now submit their invoices so that we have that going into the invoicing department. So there's a lot of things that we're just kind of putting into place so that we can move this like an iron train as swiftly as possible for folks.
Okay, so that I don't understand what all of that meant. So let me just sanity check it back at you. It's like you got a ton of applications, you
Yeah.
are processing them,
Yeah.
and people are getting grant reservations. That's a phrase I've heard.
They're
Yeah.
actually getting award letters. So it's not even
Award
reservations
letters.
anymore. They're getting their award letters that are coming out from our award department.
Cool. So that's like a letter that says you're getting 40,000 and we're setting up the fund and you put your money in and we'll put the 40,000 in. Is that what that
Yep.
means?
Yep.
Yeah. And so then you need an invoice department set up with process so that that homeowner can send an invoice in and then a DocuSign comes out or whatever so that the funds get released from the account, whether it's from the
Yep.
40K that they got from the CalHFA and you, or if it's their own money that they put in and they're now
Yep.
liberating. Yeah. Cool.
Again, so we can be as swift as possible and we don't have issues where people are saying they haven't been able to pay an architect or whatever the case may be, because we don't want that to happen. So that's why we said at this point in the juncture, we want to make sure that we do a pause and we're able to do some testing to make sure that our bandwidth can handle the volume that is coming through. Not certain we definitely in a position for that. But again, we needed to stop one phase of it so that we could prepare for the back end. That is a wealth of things that we have to do on the backside to make sure these ADUs get built.
Makes sense. Okay, you broke up a tiny bit in that, but so I'm just gonna it's because it's kind of like lightning round. Sorry for
No.
but yeah. So you've got people in the pipe actually getting money awarded,
Yep.
and everything's working, and you've temporarily closed the front doors so that you can work with the people who are already in the pipe.
Exactly.
Are the front doors going to reopen eventually?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there's still
We have a
money. It's
target
not
date for
like
the end of the month. We have a target date for the end of the month.
yeah.
But if we can open it up sooner, we're going to open it up sooner. And so on the website now, there's a way that you can, put your information in. So you do get, breaking news. We've reopened the portal sooner than later. So it would behoove anyone who's interested in still participating to go in and complete that reservation or that link that basically states, to make sure that we notify you once we do open that portal or
Yeah.
when we resume accepting applications.
And I just did that this morning. It's like name, email, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
real
Okay.
simple.
So I've previously said on the channel like subscribe to me, but like honestly, go put your email in that. You skip the middleman. You get the notification as soon as it reopens.
Yeah.
Um, and you expect that to be end of the
Yeah,
month or
I'd say
beginning of
end of
next month.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of month, at least by October 1st
Yep.
at the
Uh,
latest.
and
But
then
sooner,
and then but the nature of the beast is as soon as it opens, you might get 1,000 applications because of all the pent
yeah,
up demand.
I
So
definitely
like,
anticipate that. As soon as it opens, we are going to get 1,000. And it's interesting that you segued there, and I want to start there. So, putting in a name and an email address is not an application. And, we've sent emails, we send text messages, people don't respond to us, we have to delete the application. Some people don't even give us an email address, they make up an email address.
mhm.
So, we see that, there's some shenanigans that do occur in the portal quite a bit because people are intrigued with our program, and that's fine. If you're intrigued, send an email to adu@hppcares.org, and we can set up some time to discuss it.
Mhm.
But neither here.
Oh, you broke up again. Sorry. They'll go subscribe to the notification thing, right? So they know
Hmm.
when it reopens. When it reopens, they should jump on it and submit a completed application. A completed application, it's a big form. Do as much of it as you can accurately. There are some parts where a not applicable is okay.
Yeah,
Do you want to flag any of the require? You're saying like, hey, if you just put in your name and email, it's not like
no.
a foot in the door. Uh,
The key things that we need is we need the participant affidavit signed. We need the applicant affidavit signed. We need the income information there. We have people who want to play games with the income. We're going to make sure you understand the income calculations when we release the new website. And we'll go into those details. Maybe we'll do another TikTok regarding that because I think
sure.
it's important. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation
Yeah,
regarding this income situation.
for
So I
sure.
hear you loud and clear. We're going to try to rectify that. So there's examples regarding how to income calculate on
Yeah,
the website.
that's
Okay.
great.
But bottom line is just be forthright. I mean, if you know your taxable income is possibly questionable, send us an email.
Yeah,
Okay. Plain and simple. Don't try to play games with the income. You know the guidelines are X and you know you've made X. And if you exceed that, then you can't participate in the
yeah,
program. And it's not something to get aggressive with our staff because unfortunately we've had those circumstances where our staff has gotten cussed out, yelled out, told that we don't know what we're doing. We're following the guidelines of the state of California. HPP CARES isn't making up these rules. We are the administrator only. Okay.
yeah.
And so I stress that enough. Let's all be professionals about this and keep our not so nice words to ourselves.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll probably do a whole thing about this more reflectively, philosophically. In my mind, this grant money was sitting in a vault, and like
Mm-hmm.
the entities that were in charge of distributing the grant money aren't known for innovation, and that's okay. That they're highly regulated lending institutions, and that meant that nobody was getting the money. And what your institution is doing, what your nonprofit is doing, is a little more entrepreneurial, and that means that it's very helpful to a larger group of people, but you're going to cause a lot more friction because you're like learning things as you go. And
Yeah.
so it's definitely true. Like if you have if anybody watching this video, if you have an option to be nice or not nice, choose
Right.
nice. Choose nice for
Please.
now. You know, right? Like
Right.
reserve your anger for more appropriate
Exactly.
times.
Right.
And like yeah, so that's my public service announcement. Okay. So if somebody started an application or thinks that they finished an application before you close
Right.
the portal and they have not heard from you, is it been 48 hours? Can I just say everybody who thinks that they've completed an application should have heard from you by now?
I'm going to tell you probably if you post this video by Monday or Tuesday, they should have heard from us
Okay, that's
at this
great.
point.
When you watch this, if it is past September 12th or whatever that is,
Right.
then if you have not heard from HPP Cares, email adu@hppcares.org and do like
Definitely.
status update because here's the email address I submitted my form with, and I thought I had completed it, and
Right.
you'll get a status update. And is that fair? Yeah.
That's fair. And if they just follow the steps in the application, obviously fill in each section, it's pretty easy and it's going to give you thank you for your submission.
Okay.
Once you finish signing your name and you hit submit, it's going to say thank you for submission.
All right. When it reopens, do you know if you're going to keep it open for like a certain amount of time or until a certain number of applications?
Um, I was thinking about keeping it open the first week, pull in what we can, work those files. Another thought of me, or I thought I had, was as soon as we open it, there's probably going to be 1,000 applications that are going to be submitted. Alone on the notification, we've already gotten 400 people wanting to be notified. So I don't know what you posted. Thanks.
You know how it goes.
The How to ADU by Ryan effect.
That's
So
it.
it would just behoove you to get in as soon as you can to our notification tool so you can get the notifications. Okay.
Cool. Yep.
So it's everything.
Sorry, you're breaking up again, Catherine. Okay. The survey for people who have already completed their ADUs
Mm-hmm.
and therefore can't apply, they're just letting you know. Is that still open?
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're going to rename it so it says that either you've completed it or you're wanting to get some type of, want to talk to or have your help yourself heard, your situation heard. And so we're
Okay.
going to rename it to not just completed ADUs, but there are people that have other frustrations. So we're going to make it,
Sure.
officially the box with issues. And maybe we'll just name that box issues. It's more so my website people that are like, what are you talking about? The fourth box? What are you talking about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
So sometimes it gets a little bit out of control on that end because they do all the coding. So, but
Sure.
yes, there will be a box that basically is dedicated to whatever issue you're having, your frustration. The frustration box is maybe what we'll label it so that we can
Yeah.
get in here. You can be heard. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm alluding to the previous conversation we've had, but basically that's a box where people fill it out because they've already completed and therefore can't receive it, or for some other reason they're frustrated,
Yeah.
or have feedback.
Yeah.
That is a box where you're collecting less personal information, but you're because you can't get them the grant today,
Yeah.
but you're collecting their feedback so that you can advocate when you're dealing with CalHFA or the state. This pause, this is self-imposed, right? It's like
Yeah.
HPP CARES
Yeah.
chose to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just,
And
again, just to reiterate, we want to be able to have the explanation of income. We have all these onesie, twosie situations. I figure if we could put a couple examples, John income is this, Mary's income is this, how many household members do we count? That type of stuff. The other question that we get quite a bit is, what actual pre-development expenses fall under this? I really want to be as detailed as possible for folks. Okay, I get it. You're frustrated. The money, like you said, has been in a vault all this time. Now all of a sudden it's available, but what is it available for? So
mhm.
we want to be a better job of communicating the information and a better steward of that. That's where I stand by, is trying to make sure that we communicate as best as possible. So yeah, it is frustrating to me that I don't have millions of dollars to hire hundreds of employees to come work for me to provide the communication that we need to. Trust me,
That's
there's some pieces, well, actually all of this, there's no manual to it. We
yeah.
figured it out. And I think on the fly, figuring it
Mhm.
out, I think we're okay because we're moving the money and getting it
Yeah.
out in the hands to the people that deserve it and want it.
I was going to make a joke. You are accepting donations if anybody wants to hire a
We
full-time
sure
person.
are.
I
And that's
mean,
the other thing. Everybody seems to think that I'm amassing millions of dollars. The Tiguan is what I've got, and the Tiguan with the stickers and the broken window is what I'm rolling in. There's no changes. Okay, I'm a
that's
real
it.
nonprofit, like a
It's,
serious nonprofit,
yeah.
the real one.
You broke up again a little bit, but yeah, it's a serious nonprofit. You've been doing this kind of work for a long time, and
Yeah,
you're engaging in a bunch of very hard entrepreneurial work right now. That's a little high
yeah.
friction. I get it. Hopefully, people get it.
I do want to comment on something.
Yeah, please.
I know. There's. Can you hear me? Pretty good.
You're breaking up a
Yeah.
little bit. There you are. Yeah.
Okay, let me move here. Okay. So what I want to also allude to is no, I don't get on social and go back and forth because we don't have time to do social. There's areas that we've had certain jabs taken at us. And it's rather troubling because I think I'm a pretty open book when it comes to things. So if you do have questions and you think that our program is taking away from something that you have ability to offer, send over an email. Let's have a conversation. My objective is to try to create housing, is to help individuals get access to this ADU money so they can create wealth and generational opportunities for their families. This isn't like a whole competition, okay? And I just want to make sure that that's clear. Our organization is here to help and work with other entities that are trying to do the like mind work. And I think the ADU grant is an opportunity for all of us to pair and push the needle.
Yep. Makes sense. Sorry to hear that's happening,
Yeah.
incidentally. But I'm not surprised either. I think, in any environment where there's change, there's some people who understand what the change is good for, and some people who focus on things that they don't like about the change, and then we
Yeah.
all react differently to that stuff, right? But I hope you guys power through. Do a summary
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this recording is turning out. I'm a little frazzled. I've got the Fridays. Okay, so it's Friday, September 9th. Right now, we're talking to Catherine from HPP CARES. HPP CARES is the one entity on that CalHFA list that can do statewide qualifications for the grant without any specific loan requirements. So you could bring a cash, you could bring your own loan, or you could work with one of their lenders. You could work with one of the other CalHFA approved lenders. There's any kind of combination, right? Right now, that application portal is closed temporarily. It's
Hmm.
paused.
Yep.
Um, there are people through the door who have received their grant awards. I've seen comments. People are very excited, and you are working them through that pipeline to
Hmm.
figure out all the different pieces you really need to get in place for the 1,000 that are right behind those first people.
Yes.
Yeah. And then somewhere at the end of this month or at the beginning of next month, you're going to reopen the portal and you're going to send out a notification to anybody who subscribes to the link in the description below. It's not my page, it's Catherine's. And you're going to get an email notification directly from HPP Cares that says, "Hey, it's reopened." And as soon as it reopens, I expect a lot of people to apply. And that's going to be a short window again because you're
Yes.
going to close it again to make sure that the next group have a good pipeline and you're going to improve the pipeline each time.
Right. Just make sure when the portal opens up, you complete those applications to the completion that you can, where you hit that submit. I mean, make sure I've got the names, make sure I have the social security numbers, show us the income, give us everything that we're asking for. Hit submit. When you see thank you for your submission, there's a confirmation there.
Yeah.
With our new process, we're going to be moving swiftly with doing additional responses. And so again, that was what the reason for the pause was all about, to ensure that we have certain steps in place, that there's constant communication with you, the participant, trying to gain access to those $40,000 grant funds.
Watch this video playlist next. I'm going to keep that playlist up to date. So if this is after September 15th, it's probably going to be another update already. So check out that playlist. I thought I was done with the grant news, but the grant news is never done with you. It's the
No,
trick.
no.
All right. Thanks, Catherine. Have a good one.